You alright guys? So thanks for joining me. This is the last time we're going to move this camera, honestly. But obviously we had a bit of success on the last one where we obviously seen badgers, we saw muntjac, we saw red deer, a couple of little red deer stags, they're quite big, and then we saw a little rabbit as well. So obviously a lot of stuff going on there, and it was only really put down for a week, so to be honest it was quite a good bit of footage we got there. So this week obviously I've moved it to the other place. The position 3 is really positioned for badgers, so we'll see if that's been any good for badgers, and then we can just move it to the 4th location, which will be the last. And I believe I'm probably going to go for that owl hole just because I can't help myself, and really I've already seen red deer and so forth, what I've been trying to target, so really an owl would be something different and a bit like a bird for me to go for. So hopefully that's what we'll find on the next one, but obviously we'll have to see on the next video for that one. Some of the places we have to get to get this camera in position, and you can see why I chose it, 'cause it's a perfect little run through for mammals, but obviously it's very muddy and very prickly with all these little spikies on there. So yeah, the things we do for wildlife photography. So obviously in the last video as well I spoke about kind of signs of wildlife and how we kind of paint a picture of an area, and obviously for me this is my local area, so I know this inside out pretty much, so it's easy for me to retain this information. Every outing I have, I kind of go through all the information I've collated and can remember from previous trips and just kind of log that really. I do try and write bits down, but yeah, sometimes you can just remember anyway when it's your local area, and it just gives you the edge when you're trying to find certain species, or you're maybe having not the best day of photography and you want to actually target something. You've got some ideas of where there might be some nests in the spring and things like that, based on where you've seen holes and other signs of wildlife, like maybe dens if you've seen burrows and things like that. So yeah, just continue really to paint a picture of things that you find when you go out, and that'll aid the photography later on in the year, or even at the time of year like now you're trying to photograph stuff all year round really. So we've got something making a racket up there. Sounds like a carrion crow or a jackdaw to me. Probably not a jackdaw, probably a carrion crow. Making a right noise, but you can see this is the area where I put the camera, so it's a pretty good area really. I did actually put, we could check for a bit of suet on the tree, and I can't see any suet anymore. I put suet on this tree as well, and I can't see any, so I'm hoping that's a sign that something's been around and been knocking about this area. Can't really tell from the ground whether there's been any action. Difficult to say really. I mean, there's a bit of, looks like a bit of burrow in there, but that's just going to be a rabbit. Hopefully we've got some badger stuff. Obviously the camera's there, so that's good. So I'll take the card out and we'll see if I can have a little look. So this time I've actually managed to get the, while the camera's still up, I've actually managed to get it on. Oh, I don't know if that's gonna, it probably doesn't like that, does it? No. Oh, there we go, that seems better. So you can actually see some of the images on here now, which I haven't been able to do. It's quite strange how you operate it, to be honest, but another deer again. I'm not sure what I can see on that one. I mean, I can watch all these once I get on the laptop at home. That looks like a deer again. Another deer. Something in the morning there, looks like a squirrel or something down the bottom. I know it's a rabbit, I think. Ah, okay. We have a new subject. So we can see the fox there in the bottom corner. Let's have a little play on that one. So this could be a good location for a fox then. Obviously we know they're operating in this area. He looked like he saw the camera then and did a runner. So yeah, that's good. Oh, what's that? Oh, that looked like a badger to me. Yeah, I think that was a badger. Deer and deer. It's a different deer to the last video. Looks like it's going for the suet there. So as you can see there on the video, we've got actually a few things again really. So one new thing that we didn't have before, which was obviously the red foxes. So that's a nice bit of footage to see, and it's a good looking fox as well. It's not like one of those straggly kind of foxes that you see down the, you know, the urban foxes down the street. It's quite a nice country red fox, so it looks pretty bushy. I couldn't tell whether it was a male or a female. But yeah, so at least this area now we know this is a good pass through for the foxes. So another opportunity there in the spring probably to go and photograph one. And obviously there probably will be a den set up somewhere, so more camera traps maybe in the spring needed to try and figure out where a den would be, and just really more sniffing around and just having a look, see what's about in the area. So also we had some deer, some squirrels. I believe I saw a badger briefly run across the screen. We'll stick all that on the screen for you, and then yeah, hopefully we've got some pretty decent footage. It looked decent from what I've just seen, so hopefully some decent stuff to show you right now. One thing as well, guys, is recently I've just bought this. Actually, it was on I think it was just on eBay, and all it is a waterproof mat. Obviously it's got a bit of camo on there, so it's not, doesn't stand out, it's not bright, like brightly coloured. It was only about, probably I think it was about 14 quid. It's smaller than I expected actually, but it is actually really all you need as well. So if you're sitting anywhere, or like me, I don't often bring the right attire sometimes, I just put some jeans on rather than walking trousers. So these are pretty critical for that, especially this time of year where it's all wet. So I'd advise getting one of these, and really as well, it folds up and just velcros on there, and it's just dead small. Just stick it in the bag, and obviously stops your bum getting wet, stops your knees getting wet and ruining your clothes. But I am going to invest in some proper outdoor wear. Especially for this time of year, you need some proper gear, waterproof gear. So yeah, right, let's go and move this camera. Right, so I've come to what is now the 4th location, and probably the last location for a bit, and it is going to be the owl hole. Well, potential owl hole. Obviously we've seen the pellets which are regurgitated by the owls because they can't digest the bones. So we've seen that under the hole, so it's pretty likely that they're going to be there. Whether they've moved on to a different position this time of year, or whether they seem pretty fresh to me, so I would say they're still there. That's only a couple of weeks ago now. So yeah, I'll show you the position where we are. You can see it's field behind me, but then obviously this is a little bit of woodland edge here. So, and there's the hole, that big oak tree right in the centre of the screen. That is where our hole is, just probably about a third of the way up there. So yeah, we're going to move it there. I'm losing the light a little bit, so I've got to get a bit of a wriggle on and see how well we can get it set up, and obviously I'll show you the setup once it's on. Right, so this is losing the light a little bit, so it might be a little bit dark. This is the tree I'm going to try and put the trail cam onto. The good thing about the trail cam, it's got a decent bit of range. This though is probably a good 15 feet away, so I'm a bit, I mean, I have the camera set to high sensitivity, so I'm hoping that it'll still reach the hole, and there's nothing in between, it's just blank space. So I'm hoping that it's got enough range and it's clear enough that it'll just be able to reach the hole in terms of being able to sense any movement basically. So it's a bit of a hit or miss, this one, to be honest, so hopefully it comes off, but we're going to set the camera up. I need to also set it quite high because it's, well, I need to get it as high as I can and then also tilt it upwards, because it's not, at the moment, that hole will not be in the frame when I align this straight, so it's going to need chocking under the camera to point it in the upward direction. So hopefully that's something we can do, but it is a good angle for the hole. It's literally facing the hole, perfectly parallel, so it should, if something does come and it is in range, it'll get some good footage. So I'll go and set the camera up now, and hopefully I can show you how well set up it is. Hopefully it's going to be okay. I kind of got it. So let me just, I'll take it up and show you. So I'll just show you the general position of this. So it's on the tree here. Hopefully you can see there that it's not quite. That's our hole at the top of the screen there. So we need to get that really in the centre of the screen. So I'm going to try and adjust this now and see if I can achieve that. Show you the hole. As you can see, it's a lot higher than the camera, so just needs that adjustment. Right, so I think it's set up. Let's just show you, give it a quick look. So you can see now, hopefully you can see on there that our hole is just there on the screen. So it's right in the middle now, practically. So I think hopefully that'll be good positioning, good enough positioning anyway for the owl. So I'm going to set this up, move on, and hopefully give it maybe, I might give this a bit longer, so I might give it a week and a half to 2 weeks. I might try and get another video out in between, and then but hopefully we get something. Just hoping for the owl, because whether it's a tawny or a barn owl, I would suspect a barn owl, a tawny. But who knows, that's why we're doing it, aren't we? So yeah, so let's get out of here, it's getting very dark now. Right guys, a relatively short one, but obviously reasonably successful. We've seen a few things on the camera. Painted another picture of the area, because that's a little wood that's opposite the main woods where the camera was set up previously. So we can see what's in both areas now. We know there's badger, you know, there's foxes in that wood. No doubt there's fox in this wood if there's fox in that wood as well. And then obviously the deer, obviously cover a good area in there and over in the other wood. So yeah, so thanks for watching. It's been a short one, but hopefully we'll get something good from this one. And yeah, thanks for coming with me, and I'll see you on the next one.